Mine, I mean, when we played, I wonder if it's just because it's two people. Because when we play D&D in Discord, it's the squares.
Right, yeah.
Or the box or whatever.
I don't know. Discord's weird sometimes like that. Sometimes it just doesn't want to function, and that's exactly the premise of this kind of a podcast. It doesn't function because we don't know what we're doing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Maybe Next Week. It's a podcast. We do what we want, really.
Kind of looks like my light is falling over. Just investigating. Anyway.
If it falls over, I guess it's just going to be...
We're just going to roll with it. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. If it starts a fire, I'll know eventually.
I'll know immediately, and that's good. Because someone should.
I mean, I would certainly
Fires
hope
are
so,
the kind of thing that need attention. They're like babies in that way.
I mean, it's a good thing it's been raining for like 4 days, so maybe it'll take a little longer for the fire to spread.
I mean, if this was
outside, at least everything in here is dry.
I was going to say this isn't our old apartment, so this actually has nice fresh wood instead of driftwood in the ceiling. That's probably filled with roaches and shadow creatures or whatever.
Oh yeah, there's shadow people. There's a raccoon. Pretty sure there's just a body up there.
There's at least one body up there.
It's not a good time for anybody.
I mean, it's a pretty good time for me since I don't have to live there anymore, but
Oh yeah, because the place was a fucking shit show.
Yeah, I hated that.
There was literally black mold in your ceiling, and they were just like, yeah, that's a hole.
Yeah, it's
no
fine.
shit.
I was like, is it?
So we're gonna drill some holes and let the water drain. That sounds like a terrible idea, but all right.
It sounds awesome. 2.5 years to fix it,
dumb.
and they didn't do a damn thing.
Naturally.
Yeah. Anyway.
But, yeah. Maybe next week. It's a new thing. We'll figure it out as we go.
Let's get right down to brass tacks, Jimmy.
Okay.
Do you remember where you were when you found out that Michael Jackson died?
Maybe my living room.
See,
my mom found. I remember my mom found out, and she was like, "Oh my god, Michael!" Because he was what? He was 50.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember it was a big deal because everyone was just like, "Oh, he was dangling a baby out of a window, and now he's dead." And I was just like, "Oh." Well.
I don't think those were like sequential events. I don't think that was like one right after another.
Yeah, but I don't even know how long ago that was now. You expect me to remember that?
I don't know. Was it like 2011? I don't remember. But I do know where I was. And the reason I brought it up, not particularly related to anything we were talking about, but I was walking towards the public library because, my apartment was like not that far away from it. Sure. It's like a football field and a half probably away from the public library. And I was walking and two of my friends came out and were like, "Yo, I think Michael Jackson died." And I was like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, I think MJ's dead." And I was like, they're trolling, right? Like, I don't have any particular like affection for the guy at the time. I was like, what we had to be like 14 or something when it happened, something like that. Might have even younger.
Not even that, because I was in like middle school at the time.
Yeah, so we were like preteen era. So like I heard the songs, but like I wasn't looking for MJ stuff. And then we walk into the library, and the librarian just like dead eye looks at us. It was just, Michael Jackson died, and I was like, that was grim. Nice to see you too. Yeah, it was just a fun memory.
A better question you could tap me with was where was I when the Attack of the Clones trailer dropped? And I was in the far right section of a movie theater getting ready to see Monsters, Inc.
Okay. Yeah, that's
about how that goes.
I don't remember anything from that era, really.
I remember all the Star Wars parts from that era.
That was we were a hot like 6 years old at the time. I don't really remember. It's a little spotty.
It was slightly 6. Yeah. We weren't ready to go on to 7 yet. We had a couple months.
Yeah, I think we saw Attack of the Clones in theaters. I'm pretty sure my brother and one of his friends and I went. I vaguely remember that. I'd have to ask him. I know I saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters, and that was fun.
7 was the only one I saw in theaters. Somehow. Thanks, Mom. I wanted to go see episode 3, and no one fucking wanted to go with me because that's all I watched was Star Wars. So, damn, if it wasn't the consequences of my own action. But I was like, new one coming out. Can we go see it? And it's typically, I'm young. My sister's younger than me, and it's got to be like a family thing. We can't just leave one of us home alone. It doesn't work that way. No one wanted to see it.
Well,
so it's just like, okay.
Harry Potter was that thing for me. I remember really wanting to see like any of them. I mean, we had so many opportunities. It's not like there was only 3 this time.
Yeah.
Didn't see a single one of them. And I was like, thanks, Mom. Now we have beef.
I remember because I remember when we got the VHS tape for The Sorcerer's Stone. I was like, this was amazing. And then the next one came out in theaters. And my uncle came home one day. He's like, yeah, I saw the new one in theaters. It was pretty great. And I was just like,
what the hell?
I guess I can't go to anything.
Yeah, that was... I think I had plans to even go see Order of the Phoenix. I'm pretty sure was the one. And like the day of, like it started like... We had like a super bad downpour of rain or something. And like everyone canceled at the last minute. And Mom was like, well, I don't really want to take you there. And then just leave you by yourself for 3 hours. Like, not super comfortable with that, even though... I don't know.
I want to see this movie.
She let me do worse than that by that time. So like, I don't understand why that was a deal breaker. But I was just sitting there like, well, today sucks. What? This is fake.
I saw both Order of the Phoenix and The Half-Blood Prince in theaters.
Yeah.
I saw one of them twice, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Order of the Phoenix, because I had seen it, and then I think like a day or two later, my friend Patrick was like, hey, I'm going to go see it. You want to go? And I was like, yeah, sure. I've already seen it, but I'll see it again. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Either that, or I just saw both of them once in theaters. And
we've talked about this
your own Mandela effect. How many times did you see a movie in theaters? You're the only one that knows the true answer, and even if you don't even know if you have the right answer or not.
I'm still fairly certain I've seen Real Steel in theaters more than I've seen anything else.
Probably.
Like,
I don't know, how many times did you see Infinity War?
3. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw Real Steel 4 times.
But I thought you also said you saw episode 7 4 times.
Oh, yeah, So they're tied.
Real Steel, what a movie.
Great movie. Like, sure, it's not... When you see the first 5 minutes of the movie, you know where it's going. Like, well, I guess technically like the first 30 minutes of the movie, because there's kind of an important thing that happens like a quarter of the way in. But once you get there, you're like, oh, this is just going to be Robot Rocky. And it is. Like, it's 100% Robot Rocky.
Yeah, and you can understand what everyone's saying because it's Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, there's no questioning what's happening in the mouth region.
You got the robots, and they do the boom boom, and Apollo, he wouldn't have been able to fight a robot.
But yeah, the entire story is like, oh, he was an old real boxer, and now there's robot boxing, and well, things are...
Back in my day, we killed each other in the ring.
We used to beat the shit out of each other. And so it's like, you know where that story's going. And he's got like the kid that he's got to take care of, and there's like a loose love thing going on. It's a very basic story. But then robots start punching each other, and like 13-year-old me was like, hell yeah!
I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. That's why we all loved Gundam growing up. And Transformers.
God, yeah. Gundam's so good.
Yeah.
Even now, just like 3 a.m, drunk off my ass, laying in bed, like, Gundam highlights, YouTube.
Yeah, they destroyed a whole city. It was wonderful.
I had the cough that you made me laugh, and it just fucked everything up.
Tough.
And there are also those nights where like I'll try to look up something like that, but I'll be sitting too far away without my glasses. And since I have a PlayStation, I could just do the voice search.
Oh yeah.
I just L2 Gundam highlights.
That's me every time I'm trying to get ready for work and I just don't put my glasses on because it's the last thing I had to do. Now I don't have to do that because I got my haircut finally. Because before I have to like put my glasses in my hair so it doesn't like push it all back and fuck everything up.
Yeah.
So it's the last thing I do before I leave in the morning. So I'm sitting there like on my phone. I'm like, I feel sick to my stomach. It's probably because I have my phone this close to my face so I can see what I'm looking at.
I'll wake up in the morning and try to check the time, and it's pitiful.
I'll say, like, how many times have I just been like hanging out in your room and I'm like, I should go put my glasses on. It's been like 4 hours. I can't see anything.
It's like the second thing I do in the morning. So I'll wake up and be like, yep. What time is it? 3 p.m.? Better put my glasses on.
Yep. Okay. Wake up. Check the time. Check glasses. Check.
Yeah, because if I don't, I'm useless trying to get around the house. Like it's the worst.
Oh yeah, it's funny because every time like I'll always have something funny to show you right as you wake up.
I'm like, what? Okay. Yeah,
and it's the best thing ever. I'm like, yo, Alec, you got to check this out. And you're like, what?
Every time.
That's how.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I saw
great.
that.
It's good.
I saw that. It dropped at 7 a.m. I was awake then.
Yeah, every time. How have you seen this? And I'm like, dude, I saw this like 12 hours. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'll be up and I'll be like, oh my god, this like the Halloween trailer. It was like, oh, we got a new trailer for Halloween. It dropped 4 hours ago. I was up when it dropped. Why?
No human should have been.
I was saying it's always like like it'll be like an hour or 2 hours late. It just because like my feed is just so long that I guess I don't see any of these announcements when they come out. So I'm like, oh my god, guys, breaking news, and everyone's like, yeah, we know, and I'm like, fuck you. I'm trying, damn it.
Well, my issue is my setup is all.
Where are
right
your
here
uploads about it?
Like I'm right here. My PlayStation's like right on this side. TV's right on this side. So like I can play FIFA or Zelda or whatever that I've been playing the last few days, and just have Twitter open and just refresh as I'm in a break between something. So yeah, it'll be like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, sick, new Marvel movie trailer, or like DC released a new sneak peek of the Batman or whatever.
Yeah, and then I wake up at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. A reasonable hour for a person to wake up, and I check my time. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, everyone's like tagging me and stuff because they're like, oh, did you see this? And I'm like, yes, I saw it when it came out. I was prepped and ready for it. Alec, did you see? Yep. Damn it. Every time. My favorite, though, was when I came home from work during a DC fandom that night. And I was like, yeah, we got a Wonder Woman trailer. We got to look at the Suicide Squad. And what was the other one? It was the Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. You're like, oh, and there was one for the Batman. I was like, we got a trailer for the Batman? Fuck.
Yeah, there was
I missed that one.
Oh, it was the Suicide Squad game. The Batman,
oh, yeah, the Suicide Squad game. And the... what's it called? Gotham Knights?
Oh, yeah. Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just now noticing it. I think my table's rocking, so if the camera bounces around, sorry. It is what it is.
I was say we have cheap everything.
Yeah, and the Mac is currently being held up on like books, so that's putting a lot more weight down in the center.
Yes, I say we have cheap everything as I have this mic in front of me, Astro headset, and you just mentioned a Mac.
Yeah.
We've had these things prior to this.
Yeah, the Mac was like 2016, technically not even mine. Displate got for Christmas, bargain bin hat, 50-cent notebooks, significantly more expensive notebooks. The mic's in my way. I can't actually say anything. And then
this is actually a green screen. There's actually nothing behind me.
Christmas
I'm outside
gift
right now. I have an umbrella keeping the rain off of me.
Technically, this is Nick's hat that I stole.
You're just a klepto.
Well, I mean, he left it over at the house, and I put it on, and then I never stopped putting it on. To be honest,
I put the hat on my head, and he never saw it again.
Yeah, my bad. If you're watching this, Nick, I love you. You can have it back anytime you want it. It's just
you gotta come get it.
Yeah, you gotta. I'm
Which
not
he can
walking
do that
it
now.
there. That's for sure.
He has a car now, so
yeah, he's got a nice car too. Oh, and there's also like a $4 bottle of melatonin snuck right back there.
That is doing nothing for you. Well, honestly, like your sleep schedule has been a lot better this past like week and a half.
Oh, it's only been like the last 4 days, but yeah, it's felt like a week and a half because I've actually been sleeping.
Gosh, my work schedule really got me fucked up. Because like you'll be like, I'll come home from work and I'm pretty tired, and then around like midnight, I'm like, all right, I'm awake again. And then like 1:30 rolls around, and you're like, I'm fucking tired. I'm going to bed. I'm like, I'm proud of you, but damn it, now I'm bored. I guess I'll fucking go to bed.
It nearly got out of hand last night. I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing, and I played Twilight Princess for 3 hours or something like that.
Right, and I was under the impression I was like, oh, he might still be home because I went to that dinner last night, and so I left right around, I think it was about 10:30. I got home at 3:30 in the morning. I was just like, did not plan for this to go this late, but I'm back.
I was laying in bed. I heard you come through the door, and I was like, I should say something. He's been gone forever. I should check in, see how it went. No, like I had no energy.
Left in my body. I could just.
Yeah, I think I had. I had something on. I think I was listening to Ifiwadiwe talk about something on YouTube. And I was just like, oh God. What? I just woke up and this is like an hour past where I thought I paused it. Oh, no. This is bad. I just,
oh, what year is it?
Yeah, just disoriented. Was like, oh, Jimmie just came home. Oh, God. I should get up. Why am I panicking?
Why is mine more?
Gotta remember how to breathe.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, it's fucking raining. It's cold.
Yeah, that's been awful, dude. It's just nonstop rain the last 2 days.
Nonstop raining the last 4 days because it started raining Tuesday and has not stopped since.
Maybe I just didn't go outside Tuesday.
Yeah, because I left for work Tuesday and I was like, damn, it's raining. So I took my my windbreaker with me because I was like, it was about to start raining. It hadn't started yet. So on lunch, I put it on because it was raining. And then it just never stopped. So when I got called into work, what the fuck is today?
Today's Thursday, Wednesday, so you got called on Wednesday.
Yeah, so when I got called in Wednesday, when you were there, I opened the front door and it was just pouring rain. I just turned around. I was like, gotta get a jacket. Which, yeah, this is all pre-recorded, so this is going to be going up Friday morning, which is the time most of you should be seeing it. So no, at this exact moment, we have not seen the new the pilot not the pilot episode, but the season premiere of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But goddamn, am I excited for that because we're going to be doing that in a couple hours.
I didn't even think about that. Yep, we'll have to watch that.
Yeah, and I guess at some point we got to watch Halloween Town. Two completely unrelated things, but you know.
Yeah, sometime tomorrow we'll be watching Halloween Town.
Yeah.
We'll also be watching The Mandalorian again when Charlie gets here to...
Oh, is he going to come over tomorrow?
Yeah.
Sick.
We'll probably just pile up in my room and watch it again. It's not like it's going to bother either one of us. Nope. And then he and I will probably watch a couple episodes of Kipo at some point because season 3 dropped like last week and I have to fucking dodge spoilers like I'm Keanu and it's not great.
I don't have anything to dodge spoilers from, I don't think. I definitely have shows I need to finish, but The Mandalorian is my priority because I'm not trying to like go to work and then dodge spoilers, even though I'm going to have the day off, but
yeah.
You know, they try to call me and I'm going to be like, no.
I also had to dodge, at the same time that I was dodging the Kipo stuff, I had to dodge Lovecraft Country until this previous Monday. Because we had missed like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, including the finale week.
Actually, I've been having to dodge Flash spoilers, which isn't as hard. But, you know, when Twitter's just like, Flash is on right now. And I'm like,
look away, look away,
no,
look away.
No. What's that movie, Bird Box?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there scrolling through my phone on Twitter with a blindfold on.
You just have the speech to text. And you're like, what's that? No, God, scroll.
Nope. I know that music.
I kind of want to layer it into the video, but I also don't want to get copyright stricken.
What's it matter? We have one subscriber, and it's me.
Well, that's because we haven't posted anything other than the announcement video.
Great video, by the way. We did it in like...
That took a total of about...
It took like 12 seconds.
Yeah, like I think it's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. We probably shot for 3 minutes.
I was going to say because, it's about a 3-minute video when we uploaded that. I didn't even think you were up in front of the camera for that long.
It's because we did the that little like me explaining it at the beginning. I was just talking through it with you. Like otherwise, yeah, I was there for like a minute and a half. I cut like 2 things from the video, added all the transitions and stuff. And we're like, there you go, that's fine. It's cool.
It's good enough. It works.
Yeah, I was gonna put music over it, but then I listened to it back and I was like, it's not even long enough to. It doesn't matter.
I was gonna say it just goes so fast anyway.
Yeah, I was like, it didn't need anything. It was perfectly fine.
And this is like we're notorious for podcasts just falling apart.
Well, it's not necessarily our fault.
It's not our fault. It's not because, I'm sure I have a very important point to go with this that makes sense to the audience, but you see, when you try to do, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this.
Well, we've tried 2 different group podcasts before.
Like if we're trying to count all of them, yeah, we've tried. We had 2 different. Oh, I guess even between us, like stuff that I wasn't involved in because you had multiple stuff that I didn't do either. Because we had what was the first big one we did?
The first full-sized one was for espionage, I think.
I don't even remember what the name of that podcast was.
I don't think it had a name. We were just trying to make it work. And that
wasn't that because like we had filmed one, but the audio issues were just like catastrophic or something?
Yeah, it was just
because we had the two Yeti mics set up.
Yeah.
And they bounced off of each other and it just didn't work.
Yeah, and no matter how I layered them, no matter what sound editing I did, there was just something about that wasn't right, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
Then a short time later, you and Brian did the what was the codcasting thing you guys did?
We did the 100-point club for competitive
100-point club,
yep. And that's still kind of ongoing. We've taken a break in the off season this time, but he and I still plan to keep that up. We've got whole new channel art and stuff that we're doing for that.
Hell yeah! And then there was the Revolt cast,
which we got 2 episodes out of that, and could have, or not could have, but should have kept going, but kind of everybody split off to do work and school stuff, and it just kind of...
So it just never worked, because all of our great ideas happened like over the summer when everybody was free, and it was like July when everything started. So then when August hit, it was just like, cut it.
Yeah, we managed to get a nice roll of videos for Revolt done, and then everyone just got super busy, and
because that's what happened with
it just happens.
The abandoned love child of us that is Silver Age Media,
which was that whole situation bothers the hell out of me. But
I mean, it was good. We had great ideas. We were just missing several things to make it work. But the problem really was we tried to do way too much in like 2 days.
Yeah, so...
And then, like, after 2 days, we had the whole thing planned. We're like, all right, go. We pumped out, like, 15 videos in a week. And they were all, like, over an hour long.
For anyone who doesn't know, Silver Age Media was a kind of a nerd news channel that we started together and ran for the majority of, I would say, as far as, like, plotting to execution, it was March of 2019 or February of 2019 up till about, I think it was like the week after Endgame was our last upload. So
like the middle of April.
Yeah, so towards the middle of April.
Near end of April.
So it only ran for a couple of months, but we put a lot into that project. Those hours, those videos that he was saying, were an hour long almost every time. The ones that weren't were these kind of like quick burst of information that it felt like we were preparing for the same kind of hour material, even if it was only like 30 minutes or 45 or whatever, because some of the stuff that we shot didn't even make it onto the channel, but some of it's still just sitting in footage on my Mac, the computer.
We have a lot of unseen footage that would excite nobody, because it was mainly just a bunch of fuck ups. It was just like, we can't use this footage because there's an audio hiccup, or the camera cut out of frame, so everything's off sync. And it was really tough to do because, we're using a Canon Rebel T3i, which shuts off recording every like 11 minutes.
And in general, it's just like not a great camera. Like, it's fine.
It's okay for some things, but not for like long range stuff. So like I'll use it for my videos on my channel because like, it's about 10 minutes of video. So if I go over to like, 15 minutes, like I can reset the camera once and just do it. That's fine. But when you're trying to shoot 45 to an hour, and then we had to go through like 7 SD cards because they kept frying themselves.
That is just a more common problem, I think. SD cards in general are a little unreliable. They always have been, at least in my experience.
I'll say that every time I was just solely using one, it was fine. But it was when we started switching back and forth between putting the SD card into a Mac and then into a PC, then it really just started to be like, I don't know how to function. And we're just like, okay. Because we went through like 4 or 5 of them.
We were also, at that time, the SD cards were going in and out of different cameras as well. Because
we also had the one that literally just like crumbled in my hand.
Yeah, that one just straight up broke. That was weird.
That was scary. But from the whole point of this whole story was from Silver Age. We had the Silver Age podcast, which was just a full audio format with like no picture or anything like that. And we thought that was going to work. We had, I think, 2 or 3 episodes of that?
I think we uploaded 2, filmed 3. Or recorded 3.
Might even have been more than that. I can't remember. And that was okay. And then our most recent attempt was we had the live show that we did on my Twitch channel, which was JMN, or Joker's Movie Network.
Yeah, and that was working really well. But then Corona happened, and even a little bit before Corona happened.
It was working well, but it was that on top of school, on top of doing it live was a little tough at times.
Yeah, I think we were still figuring out which direction the show needed to go in and how to incorporate the live element better. Because had we just held off on answering any of the live stuff till the end of the show, that would have
like
worked out
we'd have some people that would just be really rude in the chat, which that happens, and then we'd have people that were like either people that I knew or new viewers that were just in the scene and really wanted to talk about what we were talking about and be like, what do you guys think about this, which was fantastic. But when we have the live show prepped and we have like a full notebooks worth of pages to go through, because like, this is what we're going to talk about, we can fit this in a 45-hour format, it's plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we go over because it was like, well, we had all this planned, but I guess we're doing this now. It's a little hard to do that on top of school, because I was getting ready to graduate college at the time, so it was just really rough. So now I'm out of college. I have an unreliable work schedule because it changes every now and then, but we think now it's starting to finalize, so I'll have set days off. So Alec was like, you want to try to start this podcast back up? And I was like, you know what? Yeah. And that's how we came up with the name of Maybe Next Week, because we are the best procrastinators that I know of.
We have a lot of really good ideas that sit on the shelf. Like,
yeah.
When I tell you,
it's
I have like
what was it, like Snow White sat on the shelf in the Disney Vault for like 60 some odd years before they decided to be like, let's make this a movie. Or something like that.
Regardless, it's just like I have so many good ideas just like individually, and then I talk to you about them and we start building them up and out, and I'm like, wow, that could really succeed, that could be great. And then like
we have
5
none
minutes
of the
later,
equipment to do this.
Yeah, that we're not certified to do this at all, and we're not the people that should be doing it.
Yeah, I was like, I really don't think it's a good idea to recreate the Jackass 2 in our backyard.
Like, well, we have a camera and I'm willing to hurt myself, so how bad of an idea could it be?
Medical bills.
Yeah, it's like, and then I break an arm, and suddenly we've changed topics entirely, and we're trying to direct the next Frozen.
So we were going to talk about Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette out on his yard, but instead Alec broke his arm, so we're going to focus on that real quick.
We're going to talk about that for an hour, and
remember when you jumped off the roof?
Yeah, it was 15 minutes ago.
Be like the Joe Rogan podcast. Hey, did you see what Alec broke? Hey Nick, can you play that video of Alec breaking his arm?
Of course, it's on camera.
Yeah, because we were filming it at the time.
I know. It's just
He said he could ollie off the roof, and
that would be like the third dumbest thing that's been caught on camera for me. I've got some really stupid ones. Broke a tooth on camera. We were recording. Was it the Shazam review last year?
Yeah. Well, did you actually break a tooth, or
yep.
was it just okay? Because I thought you were like I remember you saying I broke a tooth. And then you're like, oh, I think it was just like a peppercorn piece or something.
Well, it's because when I bit down, like I felt something slide, and it was sorry, I caught my throat. I felt like something in my mouth, like it felt wrong, and I was like, what the hell? Huh? And then I did find like an oversized piece of like peppercorn. Had just like there were several of them on the plate, and I was like, oh, I must have just like bit into one of those.
That sucks. Like I've done that.
Yeah, I was like that felt weird. And then like an hour later, I was like, something's off back there. And then later I figured out that I had completely just like cracked a tooth.
Great, yeah. So that was like one of the last videos we did, because we had done so much that week for Silver Age Media that by the time we got home from the premiere of Shazam, and got the whole living room torn apart and set up to shoot, it was already like excuse me, what it was like 11 midnight.
Yeah, it was at least that, because we saw the movie.
So we were all exhausted. You had been at work. I had been at school. We'd come directly home from work and school, start setting up, film something, rush to get it edited, to put it out. And we'd been doing that for like that week. So like that Friday, we came home. We were just like, okay, and now we're gonna talk about Shazam. It was really cool. Mark Strong is great.
Yeah. That was probably the moment where the burnout like just sat in on me, that I was just like, I am so overwhelmed and so
we were
tired.
just doing. We tried to do just way too much.
And yeah, that's probably worth noting. What you were saying was when we say we ran that Nerd News show, that was out of our living room in a 4-person apartment, 4-bedroom apartment, And the living room was not very big, so we had an entire
just
set.
enough room if we moved all of the furniture out. So we had one couch in the hallway. The other couch was in the kitchen, which was directly next to the living room. We had like a table we moved out. We took some chairs from the bar in the kitchen into the living room. So in the process of trying to like make more space, we just got rid of space.
Yeah, the end tables ended up in my room. Like we used to stack one of them on my bed. So yeah, we created enough room to put up a white backdrop.
Yeah, we had a white backdrop curtain we had to put up. We had 2 softbox lights, 2 umbrella lights, and then the camera.
Yeah,
and we had to do a bunch of lighting tests, and then we had to do. Sometimes, depending on how many people we had on the panel, we had to pull up a table with stacks of books to put a microphone on so they could hear everybody.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And yeah, trying to balance the color of a shot compared to what time of day it was, because we had to film it right next to our balcony door that just let in all of the light, no matter if the blinds were closed or not.
Yeah, it could be like midnight and the sun would just be right there.
It was horrible. But
so
looking back on it now, I'm proud of how well we handled that. At the moment, I was so frustrated that we weren't like perfectly nailing it. But when you list it out like that, I was like, of course you weren't nailing it. You were like
fucking dying.
You had to do all of that in an hour to have time to shoot, so you could spend 3 hours editing it and then getting it uploaded for the next morning.
And I think it comes from the fact that like we were both in marching band, you know. So like when you were like going to a not a performance, a competition, you know, when your band's going onto the field, you have to like rush all the pit equipment out there and everyone's running back and forth, getting all the sound systems checked and everything, all the speakers set up, and then everyone's in place in like 35 seconds. So you're just like, all right, ready? Go. Everyone in the door. You do this. You do this. You grab this. You help me with this. And we're just like rush to get everything done. By the time we sit down, we're like, camera's rolling. Okay, cool. My face is red. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Silver Age Media. And we're just like, fuck this again.
Yeah.
So now we're just like, let's try a podcast from our bedrooms, where we all have our stuff set up in place and don't have to touch anything, and just try this.
Yeah, this is going to be so much easier to do. I don't know how entertaining it'll be to anyone who isn't one of us. But
everyone was always like, what's the topic of your new pod? What's the topic of the podcast? What are you guys going to be talking about? What kind of like stuff is it going to be and all that? And I'm just like, it's a podcast.
And yeah.
And thanks for coming by the show, everybody. No. It was like, it doesn't matter if it's entertaining to the audience. We're just trying to entertain ourselves here.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not really doing this to grow some type of like following or anything. Like, no, I don't care. I've not.
If it happens, it's a complete accident.
Yeah, it's like work wise, like I'm trying to be a writer. I guess I am a writer. I'm trying to be an author, I guess is the best way to say that. Like, you've been doing content creation. Like, yeah, so following, like growing an audience that way, sure, I guess is cool. But like, if the audience comes off of the podcast and not the content you've been making for the last 5 years, whatever, like, that's just, sure, like unintentional success is great, but like that's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, like if we get to that point where we start making T-shirts, like sure, but
yeah, I would be happy to be in that position, but it's not like I'm sitting here like, man, if this podcast doesn't blow up, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. Like, no, it's fine.
We start like this. When did this idea hit us? Like last week?
Yeah, I'd say probably early last week.
Yeah, we were just like, let's try to start the podcast back up, and I was like, sure, let's try to figure something out. So we were like, we're gonna make this super dumb simple. We'll just record it in Discord, no topics. We'll just have a conversation and see what happens. And I mean, and that's why, it was also called Maybe Next Week. So it was like, is it gonna actually come out on time? We don't fucking know.
It'll come out. Will it come out on time? We'll see.
Will we have an episode next week? Maybe. I don't know.
I'm sure we will. We're always good for 2. We've never quit anything after just once.
Saying, I remember when I was listening to the Wanger show last week. Remember Brian was talking about that. They were talking about like if they lost like all their viewership or something, like it's like all 2 of our viewers are gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah.
And it was like there's like 11 live streams going on right now. You don't have to fucking watch hours. And Brian was like, honestly, like doing a podcast isn't hard. It's just hard to get through like the first 10. So like the first 10 episodes, it's like if we can get to 10, like that would be it. Fuck, getting to 5 is like a new record for us. So let's try to do that first.
I've at least done 5 or 10 episodes of the 100 Point Club because we've done like 3 of them live with Brian. There were
Yeah.
2 on the actual channel that they're uploaded to. And then there were 3 or 4 before that were on a different channel. So, yeah. So in some variation, I've at least done that a couple of times. I've never been consistent in that regard, but you know, they still have, they've at least happened.
Now, you want to talk about consistency? We talk with Nick.
Oh, no. Let's not.
He said no. He was like, yeah, it's time for his monthly upload.
To be fair, he was consistent for a while, and then when life gets in your way, yeah, you just gotta let it happen at that point. There was nothing he could do about it.
I'm real happy with my consistency. It's just like I just haven't stopped.
Yeah, like despite this year being the worst possible.
This
thing
year
for
has
movies.
sucked when I'm trying to get like movie news, and like anytime there's something really good, it always drops like at the most inconvenient time. It's like new trailer dropping at 2 p.m. I'm like, cool, I'll be at work and I'll see it in like 8-9 hours.
Yeah.
But like even like today we had the teaser for Halloween Kills comes out. Actually, I do want to ask you about that because we were talking about the Halloween movies before we started this up. That the original Halloween and Halloween 2 take place virtually within the same night. It's literally like like 24 hours is the span of Halloween 1 and 2. Now, from this teaser, it says that Halloween Kills, Jamie Lee Curtis voices over the teaser, and she says like a year from now when Halloween comes. So it's like so Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Dies, which is going to be the third one. Is it going to be like a 3-year period in between? Obviously, there's a 40-year span between was it 1978?
That sounded right to me. That was the number in my head.
Or 80? I don't remember.
Anyway.
But when that movie came out, and then the 40-year, actually that has to be 1978, 2018. But that span in between there, and then between Halloween and Halloween Kills is apparently a year after the house blows up at the end. So that's interesting, considering the first teaser we got from it, again, picks up like not 5 minutes after they get away from the house. So I wonder what the time span is going to be like for those 2 movies.
We'll probably get like that 15-minute transition at the start of the movie where it's like the first bit is the hangover from the last movie, and then the 1 year later jump happens.
Probably, yeah,
quickly.
something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think, because like everything's going the way that the movies have been going this year, like everything's getting pushed back. Disney is frantically shoving everything into like 2022 right now because they're trying to keep all their revenue from all the movies they're trying to put out, and everyone else is just putting it straight to video on demand. Do you think it's a smart move for this movie to stay in theaters, or do you think eventually they might give up halfway through and just put it on video on demand? Because like, what if, by the like, say June of next year comes around and we're still like under heavy quarantine in some areas, and like movie theaters just can't open their capacities because AMC is getting ready to go bankrupt apparently, and I think Regal is too, or another big movie chain is talking about that. So if it's at that point and by June of next year, like it's still not just safe to fully go to a movie theater, do you think eventually just be like Halloween Kills, video on demand, Amazon Prime, or something like that?
I think, speaking way off of, there's no way for me to truly analyze this without like looking at charts, which I am nerdy enough to do. Like I will sit down and take a look at the finances and figure out the probability of things. That's just who I am. But without doing any of that, I would say stick to your guns. You've already moved it back a year. I understand theater chains are struggling right now. I'm sure there will be some type of pause or relief package that will help them along the way. Obviously, with the election coming right now, there's nothing going on. But I could see by that time, we're talking June of next year or whatever, I can see businesses in general keep getting that cut. It kind of just feels like that's where we're headed anyway. Getting some type of economic stimulus, even if it's just for business, even if it's not like a stimulus check for the people again. We're at least getting that. I would almost certainly say we're going to get some kind of boost. Whether it's going to save some of these theaters from having to close or whatever, I don't know. But right now, I would feel pretty good about just holding until next year, particularly if this election goes a certain way, and we actually start taking progress towards keeping things controlled in America. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
We'll see what happens. We got that's next week.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
But either way, like Halloween Dies, I'm looking forward to, or Halloween Kills, both of them. I'm looking forward to it. Like I'm kind of like jonesing to watch some Halloween right now. But I think they're all on Amazon Prime through Premium, so like I can get the AMC Plus, AMC, and watch them. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. It's just what I'm feeling. Something else movie related came out recently that I was interested in, but I can't remember what the hell it was.
Movie stuff that I've been interested in. Can't remember a damn thing.
Oh, there was new set photos from the Suicide Squad that I didn't even look at.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen them yet.
I want to see them. I want to see the rest of their costumes and see like what everyone's gonna be looking like. So that's gonna be something. But
I'm pretty sure you said
maybe
that
next
out
week
loud.
we'll talk. I said it. I think like after I got home today. It was probably like 3:00.
Well,
I was like, oh hey, new set photos.
I think it was when I was stepping out of the shower. I'm pretty sure I heard like, oh, new set photos, and I was like, for what? And I was like listening against my door, but I don't know if I ever heard you say what it was.
No, because I remember you were sitting at your computer, and I was laying on the floor naturally, and Grace Randolph posted a video about it. I was like, oh, new set photos from the Suicide Squad. I need to look at those, but maybe next week. Cue laugh track.
I was thinking. I was trying to figure out what that was. That I remember hearing like right as I got out of the shower. I remember you saying something about movies, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, I think it was the teaser. It was you showed me that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When you got out of the shower, I was like, "Yo, a Halloween teaser just dropped."
Yeah.
So that's going to be great because Jamie Lee Curtis is going to continue to be a badass.
She's great. I love her.
She is perfection. Honestly, she's fantastic. I love that fucking meme of her when she's like really pissed off at someone, and then the next frame she's taking a drink out of something. I don't know the fucking context behind it, but she was pissed.
No idea what that was, but it's really funny.
It's a good one. Honestly, I'm just more excited for The Mandalorian tonight because I've been waiting for that since last year.
It's crazy to think that
it was that fucking fast, huh?
Yeah, that it got here that fast. One.
And the thing, like the last episode is actually like December 18th or something like that, so it's the same amount of episodes that we typically get, but because it's on a weekly basis, it just seems insane.
Yeah, it's in the streaming age where everything is instantly bingeable. It seems crazy to have that weekly schedule.
Yeah, every time. And now that it's actually going to come out, I want to put all those rumors to rest about all of the casting choices and everything. Talking about Boba Fett's in it, Cobb Vanth is in it, Ahsoka Tano's in it, Sabine's in it, Ezra's in it. There was no confirmation of any of that. I think Tamora Morrison being cast was like confirmed, but they never said who he was playing. It just said Tamora Morrison's gonna be in season 2. And the voice of Bo-Katan from Rebels. I can't think of her name right now.
Katie something. Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Katie Sackhoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those two, were actually like officially cast, and we're like awesome. But no one ever said Rosario Dawson was cast in season 2, nor did anyone officially say she's playing Ahsoka Tano. Obviously, if it's that big of a reveal, you might not want to say it out loud. Hey, these characters are in it. You want to keep that as a surprise for the viewer. But I'm going to be really interested to see what happens if we get through the entirety of season 2 and none of those characters show up.
Well, a lot of those rumors started to come right in the wake of the news of Katie and Tamura coming back. So I would say those are probably things that were being discussed around those characters. And yeah, probably some of them are going to be misses. But it would shock me if all of them were, because that's kind of how things.
Because everyone's saying Timothy Olyphant is supposed to be Cobb Vanth, or at least that's what they think he's going to be.
That was the best guess, but like we were hearing, like he was pretty.
Shout out Mickey from Scream 2.
We were pretty sure that he's going to be in the series. It was just people speculated around who
he was going to be. Yeah.
So all of that stuff started flying really fast after the first announcement or whatever.
Yeah, so you got 3 confirmed cast members. As far as who they're playing, we don't know. Well, I guess you can also count Sasha Banks.
Yeah, she was at least in the trailer, so we know she's there. We just don't know who she is technically.
Yeah, they make it sound like she's supposed to be a Jedi of some sort. I don't know.
Well, she did. She seemed to do the really speedy movement thing. So
Yeah, she seemed to do the disappear thing. So I mean, maybe I'm not going to be against it. I'm just curious to see what they do. I'm also curious to see like what this premiere is going to look like.
I mean, I don't think they're going to come out the gate with anything mind blowing. I think they're going to ease us back into
Probably
it.
not. No, yeah, it's definitely going to be. We're not going to get any kind of a big reveal until probably like episode 3. I'd imagine.
I liked the pacing of the first season. They kind of did that as well. Like the first 2 episodes were really like, this is just a walk into what's happening for Mando and like where he's at, and then let's introduce it and complicate it as we get further down the line.
I would like to kind of see just longer episodes. Like, they said originally season 1 was supposed to be 8 1-hour episodes. It wasn't. Some of them, like episode 2 was like 25 minutes. And then I think like episode 4 was like 32 or something like that. Some of them were like 48, but
yeah, I think the majority of them were around like the TV hour, 45 to 48.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, episode 2 was only like 28 or 30 minutes or something like that. That was really odd why they chose to go that route.
Yeah, because it went so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm also everything that I'm excited for. One is either like way out on the horizon past Mandalorian, or like it's just kind of suspended because of COVID. It's just hanging in the air. Like, sure, it's gonna happen, but when are we gonna get back to it?
I should be reading the High Republic right now.
Yeah, but that's that's at least understandable when you think about how many books you have to ship and all that. But like when you're filming
even
stuff,
then, I'm pretty sure those were moved for reasons not COVID related. I'm pretty sure those were story reasons. So I think it would have happened anyway, because the same thing happened with Thrawn.
Yeah, I know they said they overloaded the schedule with Thrawn. They put him kind of too close to everything else.
And I'm pretty sure they even had it at a point where like 2 books were supposed to release the same day, and they're like, we gotta fix that.
Yeah.
Because it was like something from Del Rey's line came out the same day as something from Marvel's for the High Republic, and they're like, we gotta do something with that. So we're getting what is it, Light of the Jedi by
Charles Soule? Is that
Charles Soule? I was gonna say I had Soule. That's coming out early January, and I don't know what the schedule is after that. I know it says it's supposed to start in 2021, but for some reason I feel like Kevin Scott's comic is supposed to come out, I think, at the end of the year, like even December. I might be wrong on that. It might be like March or something, for all I know.
Yeah, I thought on the last thing that I saw that Light of the Jedi was the first thing.
It probably is, and it probably needs to be.
I'm pretty sure that's right. But what I was talking about before, like even beyond Star Wars, like Rick Riordan's got confirmed projects. The Percy Jackson TV thing that's happening.
No Time to Die
on
got pushed back.
Disney Plus. Yeah, No Time to Die got super pushed.
Eternals, Black Widow.
Yeah, any of the Marvel and DC stuff.
Yeah, it all got shoved.
That's all got shoved. I'm super thankful to have. Is it over here still? You can't really see because it's facing the other way. But the book there, Peace Talks by Jim Butcher.
Oh yeah.
Thankfully, those were already well and done enough that Peace Talks and his follow-up book Battleground, they were apparently fine. Like they just kind of arrived on time. I would say it's because they were prepared to ship everything well before COVID kind of threw everything off. So,
right.
So I'm thankful to even have those. It's taking me a while to get to them, borrowing them from a friend right now. But yeah, like super thankful that we have something new. Like that's really been that, and Raybearer by Jordan Flaco I read last month. Like that's the last 2 new books that I've gotten in forever. Most of the books that I'm excited about have been pushed back.
Yeah, and most of the stuff that I've been getting is like new to me, but have been out for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah,
the most
going back
the
and
newest
buying
book
old stuff.
Yeah, the newest thing I have right now just came out late September, I think is what it was, which is Thrawn Ascendancy Chaos Rising by Timothy Zahn, and the sequel to that, I think it was called Good Choices or something like that. I can't even remember. Was
Greater Good?
Yeah, Greater Good was just announced today.
Yeah.
That's coming out May the 4th of next year, so I'm excited for that. So I got to finish that. And then I have a couple of the old EU novels I'm trying to get through. I got to finish the original Thrawn trilogy, before the High Republic comes out in January. So like I have time to catch up on all this stuff, but it's just dependent on my will to want to do that with me working so much. Cause like I want to come home and just do nothing. But now I have my YouTube channel I like to work on. I've got some TikTok videos I like to work on. I have this podcast I like to work on. Reading feels like my treat. You know, you did so good. You were so productive. Reading is your treat. But at the same time, I want to start another channel based off of reading. So I have to finish that book before I do that. So I'm just like,
yeah, just
we're trying to write like 6 books at the same time.
I don't. Yeah, my writing complications this year have just been innumerable and frustrating.
Immeasurable.
Yeah,
Ineffable.
You're incomparable. Like Anyway. Yeah, that's that. This week particularly, I have started to feel all the weight of the bad that's happened this year, like all of the terrible things, and it's just gotten to me. I was writing on like a really steady pace. I was really getting to my goals every day, and then this week happened. Well, I guess the last 7 days, not necessarily this week. But yeah, last Friday I think was the first day, and it just kind of fell apart. I'm still trying. I'm still getting words down on the page like every other day, but I'm not getting nearly as many as I was, and I'm stumbling over my own feet.
You got to a point where you just needed to like take a break and step back from it, like legitimately, not just like, I'm ahead. I think I'm going to take the day off. No, you just needed a good like put it away. Play some
I think I
Zelda
just
for a
need to
little
let
bit.
it kind of.
You need a mental like reboot. Like someone was just like press and hold the power button until it blinks twice, and then
yeah. And then NaNoWriMo is coming up in like 4 days or whatever, 5 days. Pretty sure I don't remember what today is actually, but
well, when does NaNoWriMo start? On November 1st?
Yeah.
So that's on Sunday.
Yeah, so
2 days from now.
Yeah, 2 days from the time that this goes up.
Yeah.
And friends are trying to get me to do that, and I'm like, yeah, I would love to.
I don't think you should. I honestly don't think you should, because I don't think you should need to pressure yourself into doing a whole month's worth of writing when, last year you kind of had your idea like 3 days before.
That was really
just kind of like plans for like a month or two. Just stick with what you have already. You don't need to pressure yourself like, I need 1,500 words a day for 30 days.
I think I'm going to try to keep up with the schedule. I'm just going to stick with the project that I'm already working on. That's really the big thing.
I think that's a better choice, yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, you're trying to reach pretty much 50,000 words in 30 days is really the goal. It ends up working out to like 1667 or something like that a day, which that's not a bad day for me. Like that's like an acceptable writing day. But when you don't get it, you just start compiling and you feel the pressure of not, having to write 3,200 the next day or whatever. And it all starts to get out ahead of you if you don't do it. So if you're adverse to those kinds of goals, it's really not great. But if that stuff motivates you, then it's fantastic. And last year, it was pretty motivating, but you and I had just done our sprint of writing our book.
Yeah, we wrote a whole damn book in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was... The majority of it was like 14 days, and then I did some cleanup work for the next...
What was it?
5.
It was... How many words was it?
It
was like 112 pages.
It ended up being 130-something pages.
Fuck.
It was, I want to say 37,000 or 38,000.
Yeah.
Which like...
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be a big deal. But when we went from like just having this idea that we'd talked about for 2 years or so to drawing out the town.
We have to write the whole thing right now.
Yeah, we drew out the town and kind of figured out where things were. We wrote about 18,000 words or more a piece, like just the two of us.
Prior.
Yeah,
just like
just
on or
kind
off
of
time.
I would take some stages and be like, hey, I'm going to take this part, you do that part, and we'll just blast through it. And it made a jumbled mess of a book for sure, but it made something that can be fixed.
Right.
And then we stopped that kind of like the 19th or 20th, and then I kind of went back through and started connecting things a little bit. I added some words, not a whole lot, like 2,000 or 3,000.
Because there were days where like I'd be at work on campus, I don't have to do anything for like 6 hours, so I would just write.
Yeah.
So I'd come home and be like, yeah, I haven't opened the Google Doc. I'm going to look at that. We'd be writing in different color fonts to know who wrote what. And he would try to be getting to the part he was at before, which he's writing ahead of me. So like I'm writing chapter 3, he's writing chapter 4. And then we're going to work on how they connect later. But then he's like scrolling through like 8 pages of blue text. Like, Jesus, what did you do today? I was like, I wrote part of the book. I just had it in my head and I had to get it on the page.
Because for me, writing
it was like half a page, and then I just added another 7.5 to it.
Yeah, for me, it'll be like writing happens in these very short creative bursts where I can do like 1,500 words, but they're everything that I have up here. And they're very, like, at the time, they're the best that I've got possible. And then I'm tapped. And then I go check yours, and it was just like 3,000 words. And I was like, that's a wall of text I'm going to have to read later. Shit. Yep.
And it was mainly just because it was like I just pile up of day after day after day of certain scenes. And even then, it could have just been like one scene I saw in my head. It'd be like 2 seconds in a movie, 2 seconds on screen. But I know how to build up to that and go through that and where I'd want it to go. And I would just think about it over time, be like, I got to try to do this. And I would just over detail everything to make it flow as fast as possible. And you could read through it really quickly because like it's just the writing was so smooth and effortless as far as what I was trying to get across. So you could be like, oh yeah, this is easy to read through. It's not like, ancient technical science fiction stuff that like doesn't exist. You just have to be like, yeah, I totally know what that is. Some, scientific term that's made up.
Yeah, it's not, you're not reading like Heinlein or like Frank Herbert Dune or anything like that. It was just like, you'd see it like, okay, yeah,
Wheel of
got
Time.
it. And like, there may not be a whole lot of support to it, but you describe everything that's happening like in good detail, but that was it. It was just bang, 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 bang.
And that was the other thing. Every time I was writing description, it was either like describing where they were or it was description of action pieces.
Yeah.
So it naturally read very fast.
And that was a lot to do in, like I said, about 2 weeks. And then
I wrote a lot of they fight.
Yeah. Still looking back on that, we got a good set of the material that we needed for that book. It's such scraggly bits that are worth keeping. And it's a headache. And then
it's nowhere near done, but it will get done eventually.
Yeah. And then at the end of the month, I had like 3 days left. I was like, yeah, I am going to do Nano. I've been on a good writing track. I'm going to just keep it going. This seems like a good opportunity to help me make me feel the routine and really get into it. And then so I started plotting a story. It was pretty simple. It was like essentially a French girl gets involved in an art heist. And it was fun. Like in my head, I plotted out most of it in like a day. I took the next day to put the characters together and figure out who they were. And then the day after that, I had another idea that was 180 degrees different about like a magical realm where teddy bears are trained to fight the army of the boogeyman, and I ran with it. And I plotted it all out in one day, took a few hours the next day to figure out some of the characters, and then was like, okay, this is all I have. I'm going. And I wrote for like 13 or 14 straight days, hitting that goal or more every day. I think I got like 2,000 words for 10 of the days, and then I got my regular 1,600 for like another 4. So I still have like a 30,000 plus word manuscript or something like that sitting in my Google Drive that needs to be polished. But I got halfway through that month and was just like, well, my brain is absolutely fried. And
yeah, because I remember you're just like, it's like, because you got like 7,000 words ahead, and you're like, I can take a couple days off because I'm so far ahead. And then it just piled on you. You're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, that disappeared. That's 4 days of material, really. Like, if you think about...
That was just gone.
Yeah, like of being ahead. Because 4 days would be about 6,500 words. I was only 7,000 ahead, so I took like 2 days off, would write some, get a little bit ahead, take another 2 days off. So I probably had 14 complete days by the time like the 18th rolled around, and was like, okay, I'm a little bit behind, but I can catch this up without being too hard on myself. It would just take one
It's casual. You can get through it.
Yeah, just like 1 or 2 3,000 word days. Easy enough. And then I tried to get through that first 3,000 word day. I got like 600 words in and was like, no. it's just
I remember that because you had been like locked in your room for like 4 hours. I was like, how's it going? You're like, I have 300 words and I don't even like them. I was like,
yeah, that's the real pain in the ass as a writer, and kind of what I was going through last week to bring this all back together. With the book that I'm writing now, it's a kind of a pretentious YA story. Like I'm not gonna say that it's not.
It's something.
But I really like it, so whatever. It doesn't.
No, I think it's a great idea. Absolutely, I think you should go through with it 100%.
Yeah, I know what speaking on it, the entire concept is a little. It's very specific to say the least.
Yeah, true.
But like the last week trying to write that, I was sitting down and maybe not hitting a nano goal every day, but I was getting to 14 or 1500 fairly often on my writing days. Sometimes I would get to like 1200 and be like, I think that's enough. That's cool.
I remember one day you were finishing up. You said you had finished up the last chapter that you had like lined out.
Mm-hmm.
So then you had to go back to like figure out the rest of the book. And I came home. I was like, how'd the writing go? He's like, well, I finished one sentence that was bothering me, and that was it. I was like, all right.
Yeah, I went back and fixed one that was just kind of hanging and didn't make a whole lot of sense with the rest of the scene. Fixed that and was like, cool, that was great. But I'm still kind of in that place where every other time I've started writing, I've known exactly where I'm going. I know how to get to the end. I just have to get there. Right. Most of the time I'm missing the middle bits. I have to figure out how the beginning is going to ultimately push them into something else. And then I know how it ends. So really the middle, like, we'll say 15 or so chapters or however long, if we're saying a chapter is, 3,000 words. Yeah. I'm missing probably 30 to 35,000 words in the middle that really need to connect everything. Otherwise, I'm good. That's fine. And any word that I add past the beginning is just chipping me down to where I know exactly where I'm going. This time I had the beginning, a bit of the middle, and then like one important plot detail for the end. And that was it. I don't have like a full plan to get there. I don't have a roadmap. So I got to that halfway point, which is not even really the halfway point. It's kind of a trash draft halfway point. So it's like 3,000 words short on multiple chapters, or 2,000 words short on multiple chapters. There's only 1,000 words in some of them. But it's working. It's getting me to where I need to go. And then I'll go back and actually make it a book afterwards. Like I'll go and fill everything in. But I hit that midpoint, was like, all right, cool, finished everything. Time to move on to the next stuff.
What's the next stuff?
I don't have any next stuff.
As far as the next part of the book, we have no next part of the book.
Exactly.
And then there's me. I come home and was like, I had this crazy idea, and it's going to end like this. That's all I got.
That's usually how my ideas go. This time,
so I have an ending in mind. I'm like, that would be a cool ending to something. What the fuck's the rest of it? I need like another 90,000 words to finish that.
I need everything else, but I've got a killer ending.
I got a killer ending. I just need everything else. Also, I have the potential for a prequel and a sequel, and they're like, what?
Hold on.
What? And you're like, yeah, right? It's crazy.
Relax for just a moment.
Yeah, run that back me. You got the ending to one book. Yep. And you already want to plan a prequel and a sequel. Yep. Also, that original story is actually a trilogy of books, so.
Oh, this is starting to feel oddly specific.
No, what are you talking about? Also, we're gonna have it's gonna be very Mad Maxy kind of.
Would you say that it's also a little bit sci-fi?
I could say it's a little bit sci-fi in the same way that your book is a little bit green.
Indeed.
Yes.
How are we doing on time?
If you're a book nerd, you know exactly what all of those comments meant. I got an hour and 5.
All right. I'm cool with this. Do you want to end it here?
Sure. Why not? Because we don't know what we're doing. Like I said, we're just trying to entertain ourselves, really. And if you like what you hear, great. If it helps you get through an hour of your work day, the transit to work, some people do that. Me on my lunch breaks.
Or if you're like me, you're just awake at 3 a.m. listening to random shit on the internet.
Sometimes, just having a random conversation in the background kind of helps at times. But, yeah. First episode of maybe next week in the books. This was the pilot. If you want to sponsor the show, you can don't. We're not worth much right now, but I don't think we fucking introduced ourselves in the beginning of this podcast if you don't even know who we are. But Alec, where can the people find you?
So I'm on Twitter at Life as Alec, Lifeasalec. And
It
on
should all
Instagram,
be down here.
yeah, it'll be linked somewhere in the description or on screen.
On the
or
screen,
something.
too. Yeah, it'll be somewhere.
Yeah, you'll find it. On Instagram at Alec Logan Writes. Simple enough for that.
You can find... I'm Jimmie. Hi, how you doing? Screen name, I go by Joker. A lot of people know me as that. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all at Espionage Joker. The at's also right there. And you can also find me here at Maybe Next Week. That's about all we got. We may have a new episode out next week. We really don't know. It's just going to depend on if we remember to do it, to be honest with you guys. But it's been real. It's been fun. It was okay, honestly. It was lukewarm the whole time.
I had a schmedium time.
It was No, it is what it is.
At least my light didn't break. It never fell over.
Yeah, nothing fell over, nothing caught fire, and it's still raining outside. So if you like all of those things, be sure, subscribe to this channel, leave a like, leave a comment, tell us, did you like the podcast? Do you have any topics you'd like to hear us talk about? Maybe we will cover them. We don't really know. But if you got something, let us know, because fuck, we don't have anything.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
We are just chilling this time. We're just cruising. Cruise control is on.
If you have any suggestions for us on how to improve, don't even comment them. I don't care.
We're not trying to improve. We're just here.
What part, what made this seem like we were trying?
What part do you not under? No, in all seriousness, if there's a problem on, when this goes up, if one of us is too quiet or something just looks funny, yes, let us know. We'll try to fix something like that.
It'll be fine.
Assuming we assuming we know what the problem is to start with.
Yeah, if we can fix it, we'll fix it. If we can't, then deal with it. It's not my problem. I just make the content.
But yep, that was Maybe Next Week. Again, hit like and subscribe, and maybe we'll have a new episode next week. We really don't know.